What is up, budget billers? My name is Trail, and today we might have a timeline of when we can expect the Infrastructure Reconciliation Bill to be approved in the House as well as in the Senate. We just received word from a few articles discussing the targets that the Democrats have right now on getting this bill to the House for a vote. Now, overall, we know that the Democrats are hoping to have this thing wrapped up by the end of this year. But key Democrats are hoping to have it done before Thanksgiving recess break in Congress. But right here in this article, we see it says progressives and moderates are looking for a tentative deal and a vote by the end of this week. So yes, guys, they are working hard as they await for the CBO scores to officially be released in hopes that the numbers line up with the information that was provided by the White House. Now, also, we have some information regarding a cash reduction in the child tax credit that could be included in this stimulus reconciliation bill, which could cut down the amount of money that families receive every month for their children. Now, those are just some of the topics that we are going to cover today in this video. Now, if you are interested in any of those, be so kind and hit that like button for us. It really helps out this channel. And also, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. Now, let's go ahead and jump right back into this video. The FDA is expected to authorize Pfizer booster shots for all adults sometime this week. The Food and Drug Administration, or the FDA, is expected to authorize booster doses of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine for all adults as soon as this Thursday, which is tomorrow. Now, the Center for Disease and Control and Prevention, or the CDC, its independent committee of vaccine experts, is scheduled to meet on Friday to discuss the data on the booster shots and its efficacy as well as its safety, according to the New York Times. Now, should both the FDA and the CDC approve of moving forward with the authorization, then any American adult who received the second dose of the vaccine 6 or more months ago will be eligible to get a booster dose this weekend. Now, recently, the agency downsided Pfizer's request to fully approve of booster shots for all adults, and instead they signed off on adults who were 65 years or older and those with underlying medical conditions or at risk of jobs to receive booster shots. But now they are trying to approve it for all adults, which could happen as early as next week. And then in addition to that, Pfizer is also asking for the FDA to authorize its COVID antiviral pill. Pfizer said on Tuesday that it asked the FDA for emergency authorization of Paxlovid, its experimental COVID-19 treatment. Now, antiviral drugs can be a key pandemic fighting tool as not everyone will get vaccinated against the virus. Now, if authorized, the drugs can also be administered at home. Now, the Pfizer pill regimen has also shown in clinical trials to reduce the risk of hospitalizations as well as deaths by 89% in people at high risk or severe illness, according to what Pfizer said earlier this month. Now, the pill was developed specifically to treat COVID-19 by blocking the activity of the main enzyme the virus needs to actually multiply within our bodies. Now, they are saying that we are moving as quickly as possible in our effort to get this potential treatment into the hands of patients, and we look forward to working with the U.S. FDA on its review of our application, along with other regulatory agencies around the world. So yes, guys, taking this Pfizer pill to fight COVID-19 can be almost here, guys. For those of you that don't want to get vaccinated or get jabbed in your arm, you can actually take this pill by mouth. Now, what they did not say is whether this is going to be just one pill or whether you're going to have to take 2 pills or not. But just knowing that you can actually take a pill by mouth and actually treat COVID and protect you up to 89% is actually awesome, guys. So I'm looking forward to see this coming out here very soon. The child tax credits might actually be reduced down to $1,000 per year. Right now, parents are currently getting a child tax credit of up to $3,000 per child under 18 years old and up to $3,600 for children under the age of 6 years old. And that value could drop as low as $1,000 per child. Now, the current version of the Democrats' Build Back Better plan would only extend the current credit for another year through 2022. However, the legislation would make the credit fully refundable permanently if they are able to pass this bill. But if they are not able to do that, right now the bill does include the child tax credit, which would get a significant haircut by mid-decade, even if Democrats pass the most recent of their $1.75 trillion social and climate spending plan. Now, starting in 2026, the value of the child tax credit for parents would plunge by more than 2/3 of the current amount, dropping to $1,000 per child from the maximum of $3,600. Now, the possibility is due to the key aspects of two laws, which is the 2017 tax law that was passed by the Republican-controlled Congress and the American Rescue Plan that was passed in March by the current Democratic majority. And so, guys, who will this actually affect? You guessed it, low-income families. If existing law does expire, low-income households would bear the brunt of the impact of this change, while middle and high earners would generally see limited to no impact at all. Now, that's because certain aspects of the tax code would revert to the pre-tax cuts and Jobs Act status for households after 2025. Okay, and now it's time for some stimulus update news. The Democrats are working hard this week for several reasons. For starters, they are expecting the final cost analysis from the CBO, or the Congressional Budget Office. They are providing their cost analysis of the price of the reconciliation bill and to determine whether the cost of the bill will be added more money to the U.S. deficit. Now, this is important because this is one reason of why the Republicans did not want to support this bill. They believe that adding to the deficit is not good for America as we are coming out of this pandemic. And then also, it's important because this is one of the key reasons as to why Senator Joe Manchin doesn't want to support another massive spending bill, as it would add more money to the deficit. Well, the results from the CBO could give the final answer as to whether or not the Democrats have structured this bill in a way for the bill to be paid for with increasing of taxes and some other types of provisions. And then the second reason of why this week is so important is because Democrats are trying to bring this bill for a vote in the House by the end of this week. Yes, right here in this article, it says tensions abate as the Democrats await the cost of the social spending bill. And right here you can see that it says progressives and moderates seem to have reached a tentative peace as they look towards a vote at the end of this week. Now, the House Democrats have returned back to the Capitol earlier this week with plans to vote as soon as Thursday on President Joe Biden's roughly $1.75 trillion social spending bill. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and her lieutenants are no longer staring down a rebellion that jeopardizes this stimulus bill. Now, those tensions between progressives and moderates have largely dissipated, at least for now, after leaders of both sides reached a midnight truce less than 2 weeks ago during the passage of Biden's bipartisan infrastructure bill, which was around $550 billion. And after a month-long standoff, the party's push to unite its narrow majorities behind Biden's social spending bill seems to have exhausted all members of the caucus. But Democrats are ready to finally drag this bill across the House finish line. And so Representative Henry Cellular of Texas, he said, "I think people want to get it done before the week is over. There's still some things I don't like in this bill, but we're going to look at it and then take it from there." And then Pelosi told House members in a private meeting on Monday night that the House wouldn't leave for next week's Thanksgiving recess break without passing the Biden's bill and sending it to the Senate floor for a vote. This is just one thing that now stands in the way of this vote, and that is the fiscal analysis of this bill, which I told you guys about, that's coming from the CBO. And as House Democrats across the caucus grow more and more tired of the legislative slog, Party leaders are increasingly confident that they'll win over enough of the centrists to back this bill after the Congressional Budget Office releases their information and their latest findings on the price tag of this stimulus bill and whether it's going to cost the United States any money at all or if the bill is actually paid for in full. Now, if we go ahead and switch over to this other article, it reads, 5 Democrats are key participants to passing the massive stimulus bill before Thanksgiving. Now, that's next week, guys. So we only have a little bit of time before the Thanksgiving holidays, as well as the Thanksgiving recess break that Congress is going to be leaving work again without completing their job. Now, in this article, it says that 5 moderate Democrats are going to be the key to the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's efforts in pushing through this massive reconciliation spending plan before Thanksgiving. Now, those are Representatives Stephanie Murphy, Ed Case, Josh Gottheimer, as well as Kathleen Rice and Kurt Schrader, which they all refused to vote for this bill earlier this month when the progressives and Pelosi wanted to advance it along with the bipartisan infrastructure bill. And they cited the lack of data from the Congressional Budget Office on how much the bill would actually cost them. But now they are putting out a statement that says, we commit to voting for the Build Back Better Act in its current form, other than some technical changes, as expeditiously as we receive fiscal information from the Congressional Budget Office, but in no event later than this week of November the 15th, consistent with the top lines for revenues and investments that the White House released earlier this month, the members of Congress said in this statement. So yeah, guys, the data is expected to come this Friday or maybe as early as Thursday, which is going to set up a possible vote for this bill by this Saturday, if they are going to be coming to work this weekend. But as I stated, the key will be whether the CBO estimates are indeed consistent with the White House's numbers and whether the lawmakers believe that the numbers on paper will reflect what the government ends up spending in reality. Now, even on top of all of that, guys, we heard from Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, and he says that the Senate aims to pass Biden's social spending plan before Christmas. Now, in this article, he says that the House is trying to approve of the Build Back Better legislation sometime this week. And then Schumer has to overcome several hurdles to approve of the plan, including convincing conservative Democratic leader Senator Joe Manchin to vote for this bill as well. Now, the Senate hopes to pass President Joe Biden's social safety net and climate plan before Christmas and to put the finishing touches on their agenda before next year's midterm elections. Now, the House is currently aiming to approve of the $1.75 trillion economic package later this week, and the Senate plans to vote and take up this legislation after it returns from the Thanksgiving recess break. Now, the Build Back Better Act is very important to America. We believe it's very popular with Americans. We aim to pass it before Christmas, according to what Senator Majority Leader Chuck Schumer told reporters on Tuesday. Now, the Democrats have to clear several hurdles to pass this bill, along with the $1 trillion infrastructure package that Biden signed into law on Monday. They see it as their key to trying to defend their majorities in Congress next year with the midterm elections coming up. With the Build Back Better Act, the party hopes to push out a bevy of federal benefits, including child care assistance, 1-year extension of the child tax credit, as well as universal pre-K and expanded Medicare and Medicaid. Now, so far, we did hear from the conservative Senator Joe Manchin, and he has indicated that he will try to strike 4 weeks of paid leave from the House's package. He will also express concerns about moving forward with the bill at all as inflation lingers at a stubbornly high levels right now. Now, Manchin says that this coming CBO score could affect his vote overall, but he needs to see where those numbers actually sit before he can say whether he will support this bill or not. And so he said, to be fair for everybody, let's see what the score is. Let's see exactly what they're intending to do. He told reporters this on Tuesday. So yeah, guys, right now it is looking very positive in whether they can actually pass this bill in the House sometime this week. But those CBO numbers, they need to come out hopefully early on Thursday versus on Friday. That way the House Democrats have on Friday as well as on Saturday to actually bring this bill to a vote and actually vote on this bill. And then Senator Joe Manchin can actually come out and whether or not he is willing to support this bill according to those numbers and whether they line up with the White House's projections and whether or not any money is going to be added to the U.S. deficit, because I believe that is the key stickler in what Senator Joe Manchin is actually looking for in this bill. So yeah, guys, all in all, let's be realistic, okay? Because every time we hear from these senators and lawmakers in Congress, they always make these wild projections and they are never able to complete them on time. So should we believe them this time around, guys? Well, things may be a little bit different under one condition, and that is if guys, they are able to get Senator Joe Manchin on board with this bill, I believe that passing this bill will be much easier than it has been in the past. But like I said, guys, they need to get the support and the buy-in of Manchin in order to pass this bill with the provisions that's included in it. But if they are unable to do that, then it will be the same old roller coaster that we have seen for the past 9 to 10 months. But tell me, guys, what do you guys think? Do you think that the Senate will be able to vote on this bill by Christmas time? I mean, that sure would be nice, especially for a Christmas gift if the stimulus package includes another stimulus check. But let me know your thoughts down below, guys. I'm curious to see what you guys think about this. But anyways, guys, hey, that's all I have for you today. Now, if you enjoyed this type of content and you want to see more, hey, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. And if you like this video, then go ahead and hit that like button for us. It really helps out the channel, guys, and it tells YouTube to share this video with others. But anyways, guys, hey, I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. Peace.